Hi guys, Byron here. Always forward number back, successdriventv.com. Um, just want to talk to you a couple minutes about how I'm feeling about this tragic situation with this mad monster that killed all these 18, 19 people. And there's a part of me that wonders what triggered that. Like what made him do this massive assassination of so many innocent people? Like what was going on in his mindset that drove him to this point? And was it part and parcel of the COVID-19 quarantine and potential loss of his business? And maybe he was bankrupt to start with. I don't know. Some of the stuff may come out, but what I do know is that we need a mourning period. I understand that, but we also have a massive destruction to small businesses across Nova Scotia and indeed across North America and Europe. There's 144 countries that have this COVID 19 disasters effect on their economies. And we got to start thinking ahead. And what that means is that we got to come up with some basic rules for recession recovery. I've got eight that I've set down to pen and paper. Number one is you got to prepare for the worst, and what that means is that you have to accept the fact that this COVID-19 is not only very destructive to the number of deaths that are going to happen around the world, but more importantly is the gigantic devastation to the small business from an economic point of view. Give you an idea, there's 1.17 million businesses in Canada and 1.14 or 1.15 businesses are small business. That's 0 to 50 employees. And 97% of all businesses in Canada are small businesses, 0 to 50 employees. And nobody seems to be talking about this. They talk about the economy and the destruction of the economy, but they're not really narrowing it down to the number of people that's going to affect. And they're talking 30% unemployment rate. That's pre 1929. So you have to accept the fact that it's here. It's not going to go away soon. So what can you individually do to protect yourself? There's some basic rules, and number one is that you got to prepare for the worst. Take her down to zero and start over. This is not a time to hoard everything and live on your laurels, because it's not going to work that way. The value of the dollar is going to go down and down and down. It's going to buy less and less and less. So you have to start thinking about preparing for the worst. Number two, you need to mitigate your damages or potential damages. And what I mean by that is that you got to take charge and create a list of assets, create your list of liabilities, create a list of expenses over the next 30, 60, 90 days. Treat certain expenses as discretionary, certain expenses as non-discretionary. What that means is there's going to be expenses in there from a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis that you probably don't have to spend. So put those in a completely different category. Postpone those expenses. Are there expenses that you can postpone over the next 30, 60, 90 days? Property taxes, registration of motor vehicles, so on and so forth. Can you work with different banks on deferral of your mortgage or your interest on your mortgages? All these things will trigger how successful you're going to be at the end of the 90-day period, or longer if necessary, because they're not projecting necessarily just 3 months from now. It could be 6 months to a year. So that's all more reason why you need to sit down and address your assets, liabilities, and your day-to-day expenses. Um, so it's critical. Number three is look at all your options. And what I mean by that is that um, how you address some of these expenses, how you address your liabilities, will determine what options become priorities, and those are the ones you want to deal with. Number four, look for like-minded people that can see you through this transition. So it's important that you get rid of negativity and negative people in your life and concentrate on people that have a like-minded attitude, a positive attitude. Even your spouse can take you down from time to time. It's important that you have a discussion with your spouse and make sure that she's on the same page, because it's a critical component to get you through this whole transition. Number 5, you need to budget. You have to budget carefully your line items right now to make sure that you're not wasting money that you can spend on essentials to get you and your family through this whole thing. And the only way you do that is you actually put pen to paper, sit down, and make sure you've got a budget that's going to get you through the next 30, 60, 90 days, and maybe 6 months to a year. We don't know how long this is going to last, but if you do not address your budget issues, I can virtually guarantee you're going to be in trouble in 90 days. So, time to do it now is time of the essence. Address those expenses, deal with them, and make sure that you're going to be safe at the end. Number 6, look for opportunities. Believe me, everybody's being negative about how we're going to get through this. There's a ton of opportunities out there. Marianne she's part and parcel of an organization called EO, Entrepreneurs Organization. Some of these guys are getting so creative on their business. They're pivoting on their businesses. They're doing stuff now that they never did before. And you know what? They're being creative, they're innovative, and they're going to come out of this very, very well. But what they're doing is they're sitting down and they're restructuring their business goals, their objectives, and they're going to make it. So, number 7, always be a step ahead, because you can't look back. You got to look forward. Looking forward is what my book, Always Forward, Never Back, is all about. And it's about structuring your day-to-day life, your week-to-week, your month-to-month, and organizing your day so that you penetrate bad business into good business, and you don't waste money on things that you shouldn't be wasting money on, and always looking to the forward part of your business. And last and not least is we all need to increase value in relationships, value in personal things, value in your friends, value in your business. The more money follows value, the more value you build, the greater amount of benefits and money and friendships you're going to receive. It can't be all about money, but money makes the world go around, and you need money to survive. So I'm not saying you need money to be happy, but I remember not all that long ago, maybe 25, 30 years ago, when I got out of law school, and I was making $150 a week, and I didn't even know how I was going to pay the interest on my loans. I had to go to the bank and renegotiate a long-term payment plan to get through that. So it's critical that the more value you're able to add to your business, the more money you're going to make, and that will help you solve a lot of your problems. So there's 8 little tips on recession recovery, things that you can do. Not all of them may be applicable to you. I can tell you 7 out of 8 for sure are applicable to me, and I think you can gain from that kind of experience. So I hope this has actually added value to your lives. If there's anything that Marianne and I can do for you, don't hesitate. Pick up the phone or email us. We'll if you need to talk about anything, we're here. So always forward, never back. Take care, stay safe, and more importantly, stay strong. Cheers.